So the first thing that I ever did, as far as like art wise, to help me find out like where my lane was with music, I was actually doing poetry. I used to write poetry in school all the time. I always sang since like the age of 2. My parents always tell me like, you've always sang, but I never was writing music. I was just like doing poetry. And one day I was just sitting in my room writing poems. I never ever did the poems in front of people. I would just have a book full of poems and I was writing them, and I was like, I should turn this into a song. Poetry and, you know, songwriting, they go hand in hand. So I ended up turning one of my poems into a song, and then ever since then I just started songwriting, and then I incorporated that into, you know, my music, of course. So that's definitely where it started out for me. A lot of people don't know that. I'm like, everybody thinks I just like woke up and I was just writing music. And I'm like, I mean, technically I was with poems, but I didn't look at it like that. It was just poems for me. So it's pretty cool. For those who don't know, my father is JoJo Hailey from Casey and JoJo, Jodeci. I know y'all know who that is. So yes. What stood out to me is I want to give props to my dad. My dad is hard on me because he sees the best in me. So ever since I was a kid, and once I started, you know, incorporating my poems into songwriting, when my dad would be around, he'd like come over there and he'll be like, okay, you need to place it like this. You need to place it like that. Your bridge should be right here. Your chorus should be right here. Your verses should be right here. And I used to get so annoyed. I used to be like, oh my goodness, Dad, let me just do my own work. But now as an adult, it helped me to become the artist that I am now. Now I know exactly how many bars I need to put in a verse to make it flow into the hook. And then if I wanted to add a bridge, I know how to do that. And I didn't know how to format it at first because, again, I was starting from poetry. So poetry, you know, with a format is a little bit different. So that definitely stood out to me, and that's something that I will always take with me. That's something that made me the songwriter that I am right now. So I give props to my dad because he's been in this business for X amount of years. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I was mad at him, but I'm like, he knows what he's talking about. And at the end of the day, he's been an inspiration to me and always will be. So this experience being signed to JT Entertainment, I look at it as a blessing. It's beautiful because I am able to be side by side with my dad. And I know that he's going to have my best interest because he's my father and he wants to see, you know, he wants to make sure that no matter what I do, it's going to be the best of the best. As far as even down to like business aspect, like I know he's going to have my best interest. So I don't have to worry about that with him. Me and my dad, we're basically the same person. I'm just a female version of him. So that's where I feel like we have our moments where we clash, because he's very stubborn. I'm very stubborn. So if we're in the studio together and I hear a note or something that I want to add and he's like, oh no, I think you should do it like this, then we'll clash in that aspect. And those are things that I feel like because he's my dad, he can get away with, because at the end of the day, I have respect for my father. So I'm like, okay, let me try it his way and see how it works out, instead of like if I was working with a stranger and I'm like, no, I want to do it like this. So I think that, and it's not a bad thing at all, because a lot of the times his ideas, are good. But just because I'm just like him, like if I don't like that, like the idea that he throws out to me and I try it and I'm like, no, I don't like it, then he knows too, okay, she's set in her ways as well. So we kind of balance each other out. We have our moments where we're like, we might go head to head for a little bit, but at the end of the day, we balance each other out. So it's never really any, issues or problems with us. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful about me being able to work side by side with him. I'm a daddy's girl. So even though we have our moments, I'm like, that's my best friend. Like, I'm not mad. I'm never really mad at him. So yeah.